All right, hey guys, OFD checking in here, and today I wanted to do a side-by-side comparison, kind of just a overall comparison of the original Tudor FXD. This is the black dial version of the Pelagos on its fabric strap next to the Watch Dives Tactical Frog. I got this watch through Watch Dives, I think off Amazon, I'm not quite sure. But I wanted to show these two watches side by side. I got this watch about a year and a half ago. It's a V2 of the FXD, knockoff version they made, or homage, whatever you want to call that, of that watch. So I'm sure that some of the flaws that I may point out on this version have been fixed on the version 3, 4, or whatever version they're on at this point. So, but I wanted to compare these two watches because of the obvious amazing price difference. Now, at the time of this video, I'm not quite sure what the Watch Dives or the Tactical Frog version is going for. I'll try to put that up here in the corner of the video so you can get the price of what that's going for. Also try to leave links in the description if these are available on Amazon as far as this watch goes. But wanted to show these two watches side by side. Now, one of the things I wanted to mention right off, and this was a little bit jarring for me, because I think if you were to look at these two watches immediately side by side, and unless there's something completely off with my caliper, but I did this like 3 or 4 times measuring here, I think the first thing you would think or say is that the Tudor FXD is a larger watch. Just visually by looking at it, it feels like it's a bigger watch. But when you fire up the caliper and do the numbers, this watch actually comes in a little bit bigger at every angle, closer to 42 millimeters, closer to 50 lug to lug. And I just think that's a nod to Tudor. They put this watch together that looks physically larger, but I'm honestly saying I've measured it multiple times, and it's shorter lug to lug slightly. It's just a little bit narrower side to side. I think it does have a bigger bezel surface, which makes it look larger. It's got a shallower dial, which maybe makes the dial look larger and everything like that. But like I said, I think it's just a nod to Tudor and what they do and making it really perfect. It's a really amazing watch. So inside this one, of course, on the right-hand side, you're running the in-house Tudor MT5602. That's a 25 joule movement beating at 28,800 vibrations per hour, and it runs amazing. This is a chronometer certified movement, but I have to tell you guys that I've owned this watch since May, and I've not had to reset it. I've kept the watch running. It's a 70-hour power reserve on this movement, and so I wear it quite often. It's become a favorite watch in the collection, a best friend, to be honest with you. In my watch collection, I wear it more than anything else, and it runs darn near perfect, just off by maybe a second, and if that, 2 to 3 seconds fast. Since I've set it. This watch runs the Seiko NH35 or the TMI NH35 by Seiko Time Industries, or whatever that stands for. Good movement, 24 joules, 40 hours power reserve, beating at 21,600 vibrations per hour. And it's a good movement. This does have a ghost date position on that stem, which you'd expect at the price point of this watch. And let's talk about materials on these watches. Both of these are listed as a grade 2 titanium. I do not believe there's any coating on either of these watches that I'm aware of. This watch actually has some pretty decent, now of course they're not going to pick up in the camera, but some pretty decent little scratches along the side. And titanium will scratch. I mean, that's just part of it. I have no problem with my Tudor getting scratched up. That's part of the patina of the watch and everything like that. Now, one of the big standouts for the watch is, and like I said, maybe this has been corrected on the newer models, this has a really weird 48 click bezel. I don't get that. It's like 4 clicks per 5 minutes. Doesn't make any sense at all. So, and it's unidirectional, as you can see, or bidirectional, as you guys can see. It goes both ways, which is weird. And when I first got this one, I texted a friend who had the real one, and I said, hey, tell me about that bezel, how it works. And he said, yeah, it's what you'd expect. On the real FXD, it is a 60 click, very clean unidirectional bezel. And I will say that I've had a lot of Tudor watches over the years, and there really is no bezel action and clasp assembly action than Tudor does. And I think that's amazing. So, a lot of watch. One of the other things I really want to talk about is the strap. This is a, almost a $4,000 watch. This is a probably sub $200 watch, maybe even less at this point. And the straps really, there's There's nothing to say about the Tudor strap that makes it any better than this strap. As a matter of fact, I think this strap is just as good, if not better. I did go to the Watch Dives website and pick up some of their titanium straps to use on my FXD just because they're just as good. This one, the stitching has already started coming loose here. The Velcro is not as sealed nicely as you would expect up here at the top. It's actually sealed better on this one here, which is kind of different. But, you know, it's a cloth strap on a Tudor. I think even I have for my blue 41 Black Bay, I have the NATO strap, and I'll be honest, it sucks. It's just thin and strappy and crappy. It's not very cool. But I want to show these two watches side by side to get your feeling for them. We'll go ahead and strap each of these watches on my wrist. Now what I did was this morning, I set these two watches at the same time, wound this one up completely. This one was already wound. I'd just worn it to the gym and been on the treadmill for a few miles, so it was obviously wound up. This one is keeping spot on time. You can see the Tactical Frog is a little bit fast. But with Seiko movements through activity and whatnot through the day, if you actually wear them, they tend to keep very, very precise time. But let's go ahead and pause it for a second, get each of these watches on my about 6 3/4 inch wrist, and then be sure to stick around for the Lume shot because, of course, the Tudor has amazing Lume, and I think you'll be a little bit surprised at the Lume on the Tactical Frog. All right, so there it is. Wow, I've had that solid steel Lume Tech on my wrist, which is a 46 or 44 millimeter watch. So this is amazing. I almost don't even feel this on my wrist. This is the grade 2 titanium. This is the Tactical Frog. One of the things I wanted to note to you guys, and I'm going to bring up the FXD and show you, I want to show you the depth of the crystal here on the Tactical Frog. It's a much deeper crystal depth. From the face, I guess from the top of the sapphire crystal down to the dial itself. And the indices are much taller. I guess they're applied indices, but they've got quite a bit of height to them. And when we bring up the FXD, you'll see the difference. I like the way the FXD dial is. It's super compact. Everything is close to the sapphire crystal. It looks very efficient the way it's done. But let's go ahead and throw that FXD on the wrist. All right, so here is the real deal, the Tudor FXD on my 6 3/4 inch wrist. It's an amazing watch. I love the way the watch feels. And then let's look at that dial. And you can see it's not nearly as deep as the dial on the Tactical Frog. And I think that's purposeful. I think this is meant to look at different angles. It's able to maintain visibility at sharper angles because of that. I really, really like the way Tudor put this watch together. And like I said, it looks like a bigger watch. It doesn't feel like a bigger watch, but it gives a bigger impression on the wrist than the Tactical Frog does. But when you get the caliper on it, it just measures out smaller. So I think that's interesting. But let's go ahead and get some sun on both of these watches and check out the Lume. Get a little bit of that bright sunlight on them, and you guys can see the layout here in my hand. So let's get them in the dark. So really nothing to complain about on either of these watches as far as the Lume goes. We've got the factory FXD on the right hand side and the Tactical Frog on the left. Let me know down in the comments what you guys think of homage watches, knockoff watches. If it's something you want to see on the channel, if you don't like it, let me know in the comments. Guys, you like the video, give me a thumbs up down there at the bottom. And if you've not subscribed to the OFD channel yet, please do. Please do. Thanks, guys.